Stop. Okay, question. Do you take this? Do you take Tylenol? Probably, okay? Do you know what Tylenol does to your body? Probably not. It depletes your body's natural glutathione levels. You don't know what glutathione is. It's okay, I didn't either. Let me teach you. So glutathione is comprised of 3 amino acids, and it's present in pretty much every mammal, okay? Our body naturally makes it. It's a free radical scavenger, so it goes and hunts out the nasties and helps your body detox them. And when you're low in it, you can't detox. You know what happens when you can't detox? Allow me to give you a plant alternative. This is a wild lettuce tincture. It is made out of wild lettuce resin. Wild lettuce is a plant that grows naturally pretty much everywhere. You've probably seen it. You didn't even know what it was. If you haven't seen it, you don't know what it is, don't worry. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to show you what it is. And then I'm going to teach you how to make this, because ew to Tylenol and all the icky nasties that we're putting in our body. Found some? Boom. This is one variety of it. And what you want to look for is, you see on the back of that stem, the little hairs? So there are a couple of different types of wild lettuce. I'm going to insert pictures of them here. About wild lettuce, there's a little bit of a debate on when you harvest it. So it's a biennial plant, means that it has like a 2-year life cycle. The first year it just grows leaves, the second year it buds. So in the first year you're going to want to harvest it like late June, early August. That's when it's going to have the most medicinal quality. Second year, when it buds, this is to harvest it right before it buds. That's when it would be the most potent. So another thing to mention about when it buds in the second year, that's really gonna vary depending on what zone you're in. I'm in zone 7B, so mine is already budding. Another thing about foraging the wild lettuce, you're gonna wanna watch where you're foraging. So you don't wanna forage from anywhere that they could have potentially sprayed some sort of pesticides or herbicides on it. So like avoid roadsides or people's land that you don't know. Okay, so here we have the fresh plant material. Do you see that white milky stuff coming out of the end of the stem? That's the lacticarium, and that's exactly what you're trying to extract. This is prickly lettuce. This is what I used in mine. All right, so your next step, you're gonna take your plant material, blend it in a blender with Everclear alcohol. The Everclear is essential to this. You need a high-proof alcohol because lacticarium is not very water-soluble. So you can see methods where people will like cook it in a crock pot and it'll just be in water. You're not going to get very much of the lacticarium out. So it's not going to be a very potent medicine. Okay, you have to join me for part 2 because I don't have enough room. All right, so part 2, you have your plant material blended in a blender with Everclear alcohol, and you are just gonna let it sit. You can transfer it to a glass jar if you'd like. My blender is sealed, so I just left mine in my blender. You're gonna leave it for 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, I don't have a picture of the next step, but essentially you're gonna take your menstruum at this point, and you're gonna put it in a crock pot on low, and you're gonna double the amount of liquid in it, adding distilled water. So it is now a 1 to 2 ratio of plant material and alcohol and distilled water. All right, so you're just gonna let it sit in your crock pot on low. I occasionally turn my crock pot off. You're also gonna wanna have a thermometer and keep an eye on your temperature. You do not want this to get above 180 degrees the entire time. It'll ruin the medicinal quality of it. So low and slow. You're going to do this in your crock pot for about 48 hours. All right, when you're done in your crock pot, you're going to take your menstruum and you are going to strain it with a fine mesh strainer and a cheesecloth. Squeeze, get all that goodness out of that plant. All right, and what you see here is what you're going to be left with whenever you strain all your plant material out. You just have the liquid left. Now, I'm doing this in a double boiler, so this is a metal mixing bowl over a pot of water. And you're just going to simmer it on low. Do not boil it. Again, you're going to keep an eye on your temperature. Do not let it go over 180 degrees. And you're going to evaporate all that water out of there. When you finally get all the water out, and it could take about 12 hours, maybe more. Mine took more than 12 hours. This is what you're going to be left with. It is a thick, tarry substance. If you've ever made soap, you're going to know what I'm talking about here. You're going to want to drag it until you see trace, which is basically where you can see that pot before it goes back. All right, so you're super concentrated right here, but there is still a little bit of water left in it. I don't have a picture of this step, but the next thing you're gonna do is put that thing in a dehydrator, and you're gonna dehydrate it. You're gonna spread it in a thin layer on some parchment paper, and when all the water is out of it, you're gonna be able to just lift it up. It's kind of gonna be like a hard material, and I'll show you what it looks like here. Here it is dehydrated. I've rolled mine into a ball. It makes it just a little bit easier to pinch off. And then I'll show you the next step. You're almost done now. All right, so last step, you're gonna weigh yourself out 1 gram of your resin, and you're gonna put it in a jar with 56 grams of 80 proof alcohol, or 40% alcohol. And then you're gonna put a lid on it, and you're gonna give it a couple shakes and let it sit and let it dissolve. And that's it. Okay, it's dissolved. You did it. You made a wild lettuce resin tincture.